ওকে, আমি ডাক্তার তারেক মাহমুদ, অ্যাসোসিয়েট প্রফেসর মেডিসিন, বসুন্ধরা আদ্দিন মেডিকেল কলেজ। আজকের লেকচারে আমরা আলাপ করব হচ্ছে স্পন্ডাইলো আর্থ্রোপ্যাথি। স্পন্ডাইলো আর্থ্রোপ্যাথি যদি আমরা এক কথায় বলতে চাই যে এক ধরনের বাত, ঠিক এক ধরনের বাত না, এটা হচ্ছে মানে বেশ কয়েকটা বাতের একটা কমন নাম। আমরা গ্রুপ অফ রিলেটেড ইনফ্লামেটরি মাস্কুলোস্কেলেটাল ডিজিজ, যেটার ক্লিনিক্যাল সাইন সিমটমসের মধ্যে কিছু মিল আছে, যে যেই বেশ কয়েকটা বাত মিলে এই অংশটা স্পন্ডাইলো আর্থ্রোপ্যাথি, এবং এদের লক্ষণ এবং লক্ষণে সিমটমস এবং সাইন অনেক ক্ষেত্রেই দেখা যায় কাছাকাছি থাকে, অল্প আবার কিছু পার্থক্যও থাকে। সেই পার্থক্যের কারণেই এটাকে একটা গ্রুপ অফ ডিসঅর্ডার বলা হচ্ছে। আমরা যদি দেখি যে কমন ফিচার্স কি, তো কমন ফিচার্সগুলিও আমরা নিচে আলোচনা করব। আরেকটা ব্যাপারের সাথে এটার দেখা যায় একটা অ্যাসোসিয়েশন থাকে, সেটা হচ্ছে HLA-B27 অ্যালেলের সাথে দেখা যায় একটা অ্যাসোসিয়েশন থাকে। তো আমাদের স্পন্ডাইলো আর্থ্রাইটিস বা স্পন্ডাইলো আর্থ্রোপ্যাথি কয়েকটা বাতের একটা সমষ্টি। সেগুলি কি? সেগুলি হচ্ছে অ্যাঙ্কাইলোসিং স্পন্ডাইলাইটিস, সোরিয়াটিক আর্থ্রাইটিস, রিঅ্যাক্টিভ আর্থ্রাইটিস, এন্টেরোপ্যাথিক আর্থ্রাইটিস এবং আনডিফারেন্সিয়েটেড স্পন্ডাইলো আর্থ্রোপ্যাথি। এখানে আরেকটাও আছে এক্সিয়াল স্পন্ডাইলো আর্থ্রাইটিস। এখানে আসলে বিভিন্ন ধরনের ভাগ আছে, তবে আমরা যদি মোটের উপর বলার চেষ্টা করি, আমাদের আসলে এই পাঁচটা মনে রাখাই যথেষ্ট। কি কি? অ্যাঙ্কাইলোসিং স্পন্ডাইলাইটিস, রিঅ্যাক্টিভ আর্থ্রাইটিস, সোরিয়াটিক আর্থ্রাইটিস, এন্টেরোপ্যাথিক আর্থ্রাইটিস এবং আনডিফারেন্সিয়েটেড আর্থ্রাইটিস। তো এখানে এই স্পন্ডাইলো আর্থ্রাইটিস অ্যাসেস করার জন্য একটা ইন্টারন্যাশনাল বডি আছে, এটাকে বলে আসাস, অ্যাসেসমেন্ট অফ স্পন্ডাইলো আর্থ্রাইটিস ইন্টারন্যাশনাল সোসাইটি। অ্যাসাস যেটা করছে যে সেটা হচ্ছে এই স্পন্ডাইলো আর্থ্রাইটিসের যেই অসুখগুলি আছে, আমরা পাঁচটা ভাগে ভাগ করেছি। অনেক ক্ষেত্রে দেখা যায় 6 ভাগে ভাগ করা হয়। তো সেই ক্ষেত্রে ব্রডলি দুইটা বড় ভাগে ভাগ করা সম্ভব। সেটা কি? একটা হচ্ছে এক্সিয়াল স্পন্ডাইলো আর্থ্রাইটিস, আর হচ্ছে পেরিফেরাল স্পন্ডাইলো আর্থ্রাইটিস। এক্সিয়াল স্পন্ডাইলো আর্থ্রাইটিসকে আবার দুই ভাগে ভাগ করা সম্ভব, যেমন অ্যাঙ্কাইলোসিং স্পন্ডাইলাইটিস, নন রেডিওগ্রাফিক এক্সিয়াল স্পন্ডাইলো আর্থ্রাইটিস। আর পেরিফেরাল স্পন্ডাইলো আর্থ্রাইটিস কি? পেরিফেরাল আর্থ্রাইটিস অথবা এনথেসাইটিস অথবা ডেকটাইলাইটিস। তো আসাস ক্লাসিফিকেশন ক্রাইটেরিয়াটা একটু জটিল, আমরা যদি একটু সময় নিয়ে বোঝার চেষ্টা করি, কারণ আসলে স্পন্ডাইলো আর্থ্রোপ্যাথির পরবর্তী ম্যানেজমেন্ট বা অন্যান্য কিছুতে দেখা যায় এটার ভূমিকাটা অনেক বেশি। প্রথম আসাস ক্রাইটেরিয়ার জন্য আমার প্রথম লাগবে হচ্ছে এন্ট্রি ক্রাইটেরিয়া। এন্ট্রি ক্রাইটেরিয়া মানে কি? যে এই একটা বা দুইটা বা তিনটা যেই পয়েন্টগুলি থাকবে, সেই যদি না থাকে তাহলে আসলে আসাস ক্রাইটেরিয়াতে আর বিবেচনা করার দরকার নাই। উই নিড নট টু কনসিডার আসাস ক্রাইটেরিয়া ইফ দ্য এন্ট্রি ক্রাইটেরিয়াস আর নট প্রেজেন্ট। তো হোয়াট আর দোজ ক্রাইটেরিয়াস? পেশেন্টস উইথ ব্যাক পেইন ফর মোর দেন 3 months or age less than 40 years. So, patients having back pain, most likely inflammatory back pain for 3 or more months and age less than 45 years. So, both these criteria should be present. What are those criteria? Inflammatory back pain for 3 or more months and age less than 45 years. These two criteria must be present if we want to consider ASAS criteria. Then there are two divisions. After these entry criteria, there are two divisions. What are these two divisions? Sacroiliitis on imaging and HLA-B27. So, sacroiliitis or HLA-B27, these are two arms actually for diagnosis of spondyloarthropathy. So, if there is sacroiliitis on imaging, then we need another features of spondylo SPA features, মানে spondyloarthritis associated features. We need at least one. If there is HLA-B27, then at least two spondyloarthropathy features there has to be present. So what are the, then we are repeating this again, je patients with inflammatory back pain for 3 or more months and age less than 45 years, these two must be present. After we have picked this entry criteria with these 2 points, like inflammatory back pain for 3 or more months and age less than 45 years. After picking these patients, we have 2 ways, in fact 2 pathways to diagnose spondyloarthropathies. What are these 2 ways? First, J is there is any sacroiliitis on imaging. There are some criteria for sacroiliitis, we will discuss if possible, or if HLA-B27 positive. So, if sacroiliitis on imaging, we only need one other criteria from the spondyloarthritis related features. If there is HLA-B27 positive, then we will need 2 or other SPA features. So, sacroiliitis of imaging define কিভাবে করা হয়? আমরা যদি acute inflammation পাই in the MRI অথবা আমার যদি radiographically আমরা SI joint inflammation পাই. Then what are the SPA features? Spondyloarthritis features. The features are arthritis, enthesitis, inflammatory back pain, dactylitis, uveitis, psoriasis, inflammatory bowel disease, good response to NSAID, family history of SPA, HLA-B27, elevated C-reactive protein. So আমরা প্রতিটা একটু আলাদা আলাদা করে ডিফাইন করি. আর্থ্রাইটিস মানেটা কি? ইনফ্লামেটরি জয়েন্ট পেইন. এনথেসাইটিস, এনথেসিস হচ্ছে is the structure where tendon, ligaments joins the bone. So if there is features of inflammation in the enthesis, that is called enthesitis. Inflammatory back pain, we will discuss the criteria for inflammatory back pain later. Dactylitis, if the swelling of an entire finger. Uveitis, inflammation of uvea. Psoriasis, if there is presence of psoriasis, there is a definite criteria for psoriasis, psoriatic arthritis, we will discuss that later. Inflammatory bowel disease, comprises of Crohn's disease and ulcerative colitis. There are other criteria for this. Good response to NSAID, this is another criteria. J, non-steroidal if there is a history that the patient is taking non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drug and there is a good response to non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drug, that will also be considered as a criteria. Family history of spondyloarthritis, HLA-B27 positive, elevated C-reactive protein. So these are the 11 spondyloarthritis features. So if we begin if we start from the beginning, patients having back pain for 3 or more months, age less than 45 years, this is the entry criteria. Then it goes to 2 arms. One is sacroiliitis in imaging, one is HLA-B27 positive. If there is sacroiliitis in imaging, there is it needed only one spondyloarthritis criteria to be diagnosed as spondyloarthritis. If there is HLA-B27 positive, we need at least 2 from the spondyloarthritis criteria to be diagnosed as spondyloarthritis or SPA. Then what are those criteria? Arthritis, enthesitis, IBP, dactylitis, uveitis, psoriasis, inflammatory bowel disease, good response to NSAIDs, family history of SPA, HLA-B27, elevated C-reactive protein. So these are the criteria. So 1 for sacroiliitis, 2 for HLA-B27 positive patients. These are the criteria for the axial SPA. That means axial spondyloarthritis. These are the entry point and criteria. Then ASA's classification criteria for the peripheral spondyloarthritis. That is another thing. So what are the entry criteria? The entry criteria are peripheral arthritis, enthesitis or dactylitis. Peripheral arthritis usually asymmetric and predominantly lower limb dominant. So we just remember that peripheral arthritis or enthesitis or dactylitis. So peripheral arthritis, enthesitis, dactylitis. These are 3 entry criteria. If either one of is present, we can consider spondyloarthritis and we will go for other investigations. So what are the 3 points? Peripheral arthritis or enthesitis or dactylitis. Peripheral arthritis is what kind of peripheral arthritis? Usually asymmetric, usually lower limb predominant. Not necessarily that has to be, this is not stringent criteria. Usually asymmetric, usually lower limb predominant. What is enthesitis? Enthesitis means the attachment of ligament or tendon with the bone, the area. Then if there is inflammation in the enthesis, dactylitis, inflammation of a digit, whole digit. So if one of these features is present, then we are having again two arms. In one arm, one of the another criteria from one group or two of the criteria from another group has to be present. So what are the criteria from where one point is necessary, like HLA-B27, genitourinary or gastrointestinal infection, psoriasis, inflammatory bowel disease, magnetic resonance sacroiliitis. So out of these 5 criteria, if one is present with either of initial clinical features like peripheral arthritis, enthesitis, dactylitis, plus one of these 5. What are these 5? HLA-B27, genitourinary or GI infection, psoriasis, inflammatory bowel disease, magnetic resonance imaging, sacroiliitis. So if those out of those 3 presentations one is present, and out of these 5 presentations one is present, we can consider the patient is suffering from peripheral spondyloarthritis. Or there might be 2 of the following features like arthritis, enthesitis, dactylitis, again and inflammatory back pain, family history of spondyloarthritis. So from this group we need at least 2. Why 2? Because if you see that first 3 features of this group, arthritis, enthesitis, dactylitis, is also present in the patient's presentation inclusion criteria. So from this group we need at least 2. So these are the criteria to diagnose axial spondyloarthritis and peripheral spondyloarthritis according to ASAS. And there are other criteria also, we will see later. So as we are considering spondyloarthritis a common entity, spondyloarthropathy, spondyloarthritis as a common entity to various forms of disease, we have already seen that to at least different kind of classification. According to ASAS, there is broad classification, so like what? Axial spondyloarthritis, peripheral spondyloarthritis, and not according to ASAS, like many other cases, it is diagnosed in a different manner, like classified in a different manner, like ankylosing spondylitis, psoriatic arthritis, reactive arthritis, enteropathic arthritis, undifferentiated arthritis, undifferentiated spondyloarthropathy. So there are different classification for spondyloarthritis, but as all these different form of presentation or disease has been considered in a common terms like spondyloarthritis, there are some common clinical features also. What are those? Asymmetric inflammatory arthritis, So this is also predominantly in the lower limb. Lower limb is more affected than the upper limb. History of inflammatory back pain, we will go through that. What do we mean by inflammatory back pain? Sacroiliitis or spinal osteitis, enthesitis. Tendency for familial aggregation, if the parent or siblings or by another brother or sister is suffering from this condition, there is a increased chance of another persons of the family to have the disease. HLA-B27 association, psoriasis, uveitis, sterile urethritis and or prostatitis, inflammatory bowel disease, aortic root lesions. So these are the common features that are present in the spondyloarthritis. We have already discussed this. Now we will discuss something about the ankylosing spondylitis. So for the diagnosis of ankylosing spondylitis, there is a criteria which is established in 1984, modified New York criteria. These criteria have five features. So what are those? Low back pain of at least 3 months duration, improved by exercise and not relieved by rest. Limitations of lumbar spine in sagittal and coronal plane. Chest expansion decreased relative to normal values for age and sex. And bilateral sacroiliitis grade 2 to 4 and unilateral sacroiliitis grade 3 to 4. So these things are very much important. So these 5 points need to be understood clearly. Like what? Low back pain for at least 3 months. So this is one criteria. Says low back pain should have a duration of 3 months, improved by exercise and not relieved by rest. On the other hand, this is actually aggravated by rest. So from this criteria, we are getting some idea what do we mean by inflammatory low back pain. So inflammatory back pain is a kind of back pain which is usually increased by rest and relieved by exercise, and there has to be some duration to that. Duration is necessary because there are many others pain, maybe arthritis or back pain or so. There are many other reasons like infectious cause and other cause which does not have that kind of duration or any self-limiting duration. Limitation of lumbar spine in sagittal and frontal plane. So how could we assess that? There is a Schobert test. Schobert test, I know everybody knows these things. Schobert test, if we do Schobert test, we will get that the patient is having limitations in the movement of the lumbar spine. Chest expansibility, if we check that chest expansibility, that might be reduced. And a bilateral sacroiliitis grade 2 to 4 and unilateral sacroiliitis grade 3 to 4. So when we can say definite spondyloarthritis? So unilateral grade 3 or 4 or bilateral grade 2 to 4 sacroiliitis and any of the clinical criteria. So 4 or number 4 and number 5, these 2 points, either of one of these 2 points has to be present. Bilateral sacroiliitis 2 to 4 or unilateral sacroiliitis 3 to 4 has to be present. With this, one of above 3 criteria has to be present. Like what? Low back pain, 3 months duration, improved by exercise, not relieved by rest. Chest expansibility reduced. Movement of the lumbar spine is reduced in frontal and sagittal plane. So here the most important thing is that whether the presence of sacroiliitis is present or not. So there are some grading. Grade 1 is normal, grade 0 is normal, grade 1 suspicious, 2 minimal sacroiliitis, 3 moderate sacroiliitis and grade 4 hoche ankylosis. We are showing you some photos like this one is sacroiliitis grade 1, this one sacroiliitis grade 1, 2, grade 3, grade 4. So in the photos you will you are seeing that there are some changes in the sacroiliac joint which through which we decide what kind of sacroiliitis is this. And the another picture photograph of MRI appearance in sacroiliitis. So what are the aspects of IBP in AS and axial spondyloarthropathy, ankylosing spondylitis and axial spondyloarthritis? So IBP features are like this. IBP, what do you mean by IBP? Inflammatory low back pain. So inflammatory low back pain usually it begins before the age of 45 years. Duration of symptoms usually more than 3 months. Located at the lower back, altering buttock pain, awaking due to back pain during the second half of the night, morning stiffness for at least 30 minutes, insidious onset of complaints, improvements with exercise, no improvements of back pain with rest, improvement with use of non-steroidal agents. So these are all features of IBP. So now there is a proposed criteria for IBP in young and middle-aged patient, 50 years less than, and with chronic back pain. There is a proposed criteria. This is not finalized yet. So what are the 4 criteria for IBP? morning stiffness of at least 30 minutes duration, improvement of back pain with exercise but not with rest, awakening because of back pain during second half of night, alternating buttock pain. So, these 4 points has been proposed as a criteria for the people less than 50 years of age to designated to have chronic back pain, chronic back pain to be designated as having inflammatory back pain. So, what is this? This is a proposed criteria for inflammatory back pain, not yet established for the patient who are having chronic back pain and aged less than 50 years. So, what are the criteria? Morning stiffness less than 30 minutes, improvement of back pain with exercise but not with rest, awakening because of back pain during second half of the night, alternating buttock pain. So, and with all these things we are getting what there are some other common things also, like we have already discussed what is the clustering of spondyloarthritis. What are the common and atypical common features like HLA-B27 positive, there is asymmetrical arthritis, predominantly lower limb involvement, inflammatory low back pains, presence of psoriasis, presence of and there are other extra-articular features in spondyloarthritis which is very much common. When we discuss about arthritis, we discuss about joint and joint pain, but there are some extra-articular features which are also suggestive of this kind of arthritis. So, what are those features? Like fatigue, anemia, anterior uveitis, prostatitis, inflammatory bowel disease, osteoporosis, cardiovascular disease, mostly aortic valve disease, amyloidosis, atypical upper lobe fibrosis, very rare. So, from where we have started? Fatigue. This is a symptoms which many at times overlook or ignored. Fatigue. A patient with spondyloarthritis sometimes experience huge fatigue, and sometimes this is overlooked, or anemia might happen, anterior uveitis, prostatitis, inflammatory bowel disease, osteoporosis, cardiovascular disease, mainly aortic valve disease, and amyloidosis, upper lobe fibrosis. So, if we think about ankylosing spondylitis out of spondyloarthropathy, if we think about ankylosing spondylitis, what are the clinical findings there might be? Like we have already discussed it, the reduced spinal mobility, Schobert test, chest expansion reduced less than 6 centimeter, enthesitis, sacroiliitis, and some kind of posture. There are some abnormality in the posture of the patient. There might be. So, there are some X-rays where fine asymmetrical marginal syndesmophyte of AS is shown. What is syndesmophyte? Syndesmophyte is a bony growth which is longitudinal to the body of the spinal cord. And if this is horizontal to the body of the vertebral body, then it will be called osteophyte. So, in case of syndesmophyte is also might be of two types. There are fine symmetrical syndesmophyte which is typical for ankylosing spondylitis. There is asymmetrical syndesmophyte which is typical of psoriatic arthritis. So, we will discuss things later on. And there is another thing called bamboo spine in case of advanced ankylosing spondylitis, where adjacent vertebral bodies are joined together through syndesmophytes. So, we are having a X-rays here where we see that it give a features like bamboo. So, it is also known as bamboo spine. So, how can we assess the disease activity of the ankylosing spondylitis? There are various assessment tools. We will only discuss one tool here, Bath Ankylosing Spondylitis Disease Activity Index, in short BASDAI. BASDAI, Bath Ankylosing Spondylitis Disease Activity Index. We have 6 points here, and we will ask the patient to grade his severity from none to very severe. Then how will you grade this? None means 0, so there is no problem, the patient will say 0, and very severe problem, the patient will say 10. So for all the 6 point, patient have to mark their disability or problem from 0 to 10. What does 0 mean? No problem. What does 10 mean? Extreme problem or extreme severity. So what are the questions? How would you describe the overall level of fatigue, tiredness you have experienced? So first question is based on how tired or how fatigued you are experiencing. So if the patient have no problem, he will say, oh, I am not feeling any fatigue or any tiredness, that is 0. If I am feeling extreme fatigue or extreme tiredness, that will be 10. So what can? None and very severe. How would you describe the overall level of AS, neck, back or hip pain you have had? So this question is specifically for neck, back and hip, these 3 places. So how will you describe your pain in these 3 places? What are the places? Neck, back and hip. And again patient will classify or grade his discomfort according to his disability from none to very severe. None is 0, no pain, and extremely very severe pain 10. Now how would you describe the overall level of pain and swelling you have had in the joints other than back, neck and hips? We have seen and said in the previous slides that the spondyloarthritis may have taken place in many other joints like elbow, like knee, ankle, heel. So this question is also specific. Say previous question we asked about the neck, back, hip. Now tell me your pain in other joint except neck, back and hip, and grading is similar 0 to 10. How would you describe level of discomfort you have had from an area tender to touch or pressure? So what does this mean? That while you are giving some pressure to a point, or while I am giving some pressure to a certain point or and what kind of pain or tenderness you are feeling. So classification is same 0 to 10. How would you describe the level of morning stiffness you have had from the time you wake up? So what is the what about your morning stiffness? How long does your morning stiffness last from the time you wake up? How long it persists? So this is a different thing. This classification, this point is different. It's not easy to say 0 to 10 marking. So how will you do the marking? 0, that means you don't have any morning stiffness, no duration, 0. 1 hour duration, that means we have to grade this 5. 2 or more hours, it's 10. So patient will according to patient statement, we have to grade this question. How long does your morning stiffness last from the time you wake up? So if the patient say half an hour, we know that 1 hour means 5, so half an hour means 2.5. If the patient say more than 1 hour, so 2 hours means 10, 1 hour means 5, so more than 1 hour might be 6 or 7. So these are the criteria. So how will we calculate the BASDAI? Compute the mean of question 5 and 6. So we have to first 5 and 6 we have to combine. We have to add the numbers of 5 and 6, then divide by 2. So it we will get a number from 5 and 6, and calculate the sum of the value of the 1 to 4. and add the results to mean quotient of 5 and 6, divide by 5. So this is the way to calculate the Basdai, and this will give us an idea how severe the disease is. Why we have to do this? Why we don't go for any investigations to understand that how severe the disease is? There's a problem with the spondyloarthritis. There is actually no definite test to say that the patient is having spondyloarthritis. Okay, if there is sacroiliitis in the SI joint, we might say that, but considering the in a broad spectrum, there is actually no specific symptoms, no specific sign, single or specific investigations through which we can say that we are having this patient with spondyloarthritis or ankylosing spondylitis. If we see in the beginning, while we are classifying the patients with axial disease or peripheral disease, there are several criteria, both symptoms, sign and investigations. While we are talking about modified New York criteria of ankylosing spondylitis, we are talking about various symptoms, sign and investigations. So there is no way, and we are combining these things, symptoms, sign and investigations, combining these things, producing a criteria, clinical criteria through which we diagnose that this patient is suffering from this kind of disease. There is no specific test. And regarding severity, that is also true for the severity. There is no specific test or so we have taken a set of questionnaire and graded the severity and came up with the severity, and we have to treat according to the severity of the patient, and that's all. There is no definite testing tool. So there are ASAS and Euler recommendation for the management of AS. There is a broad how will we manage the patient. ASAS, ankylosing assessment of spondyloarthritis assessment. Then what do we mean by ASAS? ASAS means Assessment of Spondyloarthritis International Society. And what does Euler mean? Euler means European League Against Rheumatology. So they have combinedly recommended some management for the treatment of spondyloarthritis. So what are this basic idea? First idea is patient education. We have to teach the patient or make the patient understand the kind of disease he is suffering from or she is suffering from. What are the prospects, what are the treatment options, what are the complications of the disease, what are the complications of the treatment, what are the long term outcome, is there any cure of the disease. So there are many things. Then exercise. Then this is also a part of the patient education, that the importance of exercise, the paramount importance of exercise. If there no exercise, the patient, the other drugs even might not function as well with the exercise. Then these are the treatments, and when we go for the drug therapy, first whatever is the disease, axial or peripheral disease, we will treat the patient with NSAID. What kind of NSAID? What are the importance of NSAID here? In case of spondyloarthritis, there are two things. It reduces pain and it has anti-inflammatory properties, and it has been stated that in case of this kind of arthritis, NSAIDs have some disease modifying role. And another very important point, that NSAID should be given in optimum dose for at least 14 days. Why? Because for an NSAIDs to be active, it has some analgesic effect, it has some anti-inflammatory effect. To gain the analgesic effect, 48 hours is sufficient. That means 2 days. To get the anti-inflammatory effect, it's 14 days actually, so 2 weeks. So before, if we start an NSAID in optimum dose and discontinue it before the 14th day, we will never be sure whether this NSAID was producing any anti-inflammatory effect or not. So we have to give for at least 2 weeks optimum dose. If that not work within the 14 days, then we will switch to another NSAID optimum dose for another 14 days. If NSAID works well, then we will continue treatment with that. Then things varies. Then other things, we might add sulfasalazine, local corticosteroids and TNF blockers. And finally, if there is fusion of joints, there is options for surgery. So when we will give tumor necrosing factor blockers for the patients of ankylosing spondylitis. So hallmark baseline of treatment is patient education, exercise, physical therapy, rehabilitations, patients association, self-help group, this, and further on we will have to give NSAID, then perhaps conventional, though it has been stated various times that in case of ankylosing spondylitis, conventional disease modifying drugs usually not that much effective, but sulfasalazine might be added, local corticosteroid to relieve the pain, and finally TNF blockers. So 2010 update of recommendation for the use of anti-TNF in the axial spondyloarthritis. What are the how will you select patient for TNF? First of all, diagnosis. Patient fulfilling modified New York criteria for definitive AS or ASAS criteria for axial SPA. We have discussed both things above. Modified New York criteria, first, how will you diagnose the patient? First, either modified New York criteria or ASAS criteria for axial SPA. Active disease, how can we decide whether the patient has active disease or not? Active disease for more than 4 weeks, Basdai score more than 4. We have said that there are 6 criteria for scoring of Basdai. Basdai score should be more than 4 and a positive expert opinion. And there has to be some treatment failure, like what? All patients should have adequate therapeutic trials of at least 2 NSAIDs. If one NSAIDs work, we need not to go for the TNF. If one doesn't work, we have to check another one. So before even thinking about tumor necrosing factor blocker, TNF blocker, we have to try at least 2 NSAIDs in optimum dose, each for 14 days, so total a duration of 28 days. Patient with predominant axial manifestations do not have to take DMRs before anti-TNF treatment. What do we learn from here? So for the management, patient education, exercise, physical therapy, rehabilitation, these things are important. Then appropriate NSAID should be given. Then for axial and peripheral predominant varicorbate, then there are options for anti-TNF. Anti-TNF, most important things are patient selection and assessment of the disease severity. If these two things perfect is achieved, then there are some minor points also, like where is the disease, what are the modalities we have already tried, and with those things we will proceed further management. There are other spondyloarthropathies like reactive arthritis, and so there are other spondyloarthropathies. We have already discussed all those things, but individual discussions of other spondyloarthropathies we will do it in the maybe in the next lecture. So for today, that's all. Thank you.